What's up, everybody? This is Jason Flowers with the Against the Smoke podcast, sitting here with Herman Payne. What's up, Herman?
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing, Mr. Jason? How you doing, sir?
And special guest in the studio today, man, all the way from Nashville, by way of Auburn, Alabama, Mr. Corey Spicer. Y'all give it up for Corey Spicer. Hey. Yeah, Corey, what's going on with you, man? That's it. So, y'all, to give you a little backstory, we're setting up for the live broadcast that airs on Mondays, shameless plug, on Facebook. And look, we thought it would be a great idea to get somebody up here that knew what they were doing when it comes to.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Close enough.
close enough. So, man, I'll jump right into it. So happy to see you. Been a long time. I was telling him, I think the first time I met him was at a drum off here in Auburn, and so he was in there, and he wasn't playing, he was judging. He wanted one of the judges and all that, and it was just a little while, and so he's moved to Nashville, and so talk to us a little bit about what's going on in Nashville and with you, and what you've been up to for the last few years, Corey.
Yeah, just been playing a lot, learning a lot, trying to slowly get into recording, which has been quite the process.
Yeah.
But playing a lot of freelance with singer-songwriters and artists and bands, and learning what I can when I can.
That's it, man. So, like, right now, like, what's the greatest experience so far from moving to Nashville? Like, what's the highlight of the time in Nashville?
I think just being around a bunch of musicians.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of people who are excited about the same things and trying to work on music together.
Yeah. So in Nashville, is it like it's all live? It's no DJing and all. People don't want to hear that, right?
Well, actually, there's a lot of DJs, and there's a lot of people doing, especially like pop music, that are working in tracks and working in samples live on the spot, all kinds of stuff.
So if you're a musician coming up, it wouldn't hurt to kind of learn a little bit of that too. Like,
not at all.
Music is changing and stuff like that. So,
right. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to catch up on all the pop production
I
ignored.
Oh yeah.
All the DJ stuff I should have been tinkering with in high school.
Yeah. So like when you're riding around, Corey, like who is in the car with you at first, music wise? Who are you listening to and all that?
Oh, that's good.
I know so many influences probably.
Yeah, I think it goes in phases for me. So lately I've been really into like top 40 pop, like an artist named Love or Julia Michaels.
Julia Michaels,
very poppy stuff. So, because I'm trying to learn how to recreate some of that. So
that's what I mean. When you talk about pop, that's where a lot of the people moving and shaking and dancing comes from, and so people want to hear like that upbeat type music a lot of time, man. The king of pop, man. Michael Jackson.
That's
man.
right.
The king of pop. I think a lot of people think pop started off with like Trolls or something like that. You know what I'm saying? like that's pop, but no, man. Pop has been going on for a long time, and so it's different. When you're talking about Nashville, you're talking about a blending. Most people think straight country.
Right.
They think straight country. When you think about Nashville, you think about country and I guess we call it the bluegrass.
Right.
Bluegrass and stuff like that. And your dad does bluegrass.
He does.
Look at he laughing because his dad will come in here right now. The bluegrass, man.
Yeah.
Bluegrass. So do you do any of the bluegrass? So like when y'all get around, the Spicer family and all that, do y'all get around and start playing instruments and stuff like that?
A little bit. Oh, yeah. Not as much as we used to now. I think we don't get together as much, so when we do, we just kind of relax. Catch up and lay on the floor.
I heard that. And so, as far as the family, can everybody like play an instrument and all that? Was that a big thing growing up too? Or?
Yeah. Pretty much whatever. Seems like every Christmas there was a new random instrument. Here's a violin. Here's a saxophone. Here's a bass. I can't play any of these.
The next time I see you, have this instrument down.
Right.
Be able to play it. So growing up, did y'all have a certain style of music that y'all listened to, or was it all the way around? Or?
Michael Jackson was a big one, honestly.
Wow.
Michael Jackson, and my parents love singer-songwriters, so they love like James Taylor, Carole King, that kind of stuff.
People that work on the whole thing, not just artists, but writers too.
Right.
To understand the music, man. Well, that's big, man. But well, y'all, I mean, y'all just don't understand who we got in here with us right now. I mean, this guy, this guy has traveled the world and doing some very big things, man. Like, where can I guess people find you if they want to hear any of your music or any of the things that you got going on? Where can, like, what's your social media and all that?
Right. Pretty much just Instagram, Facebook too, but nothing really goes on Facebook now.
Yeah. So what's your handle on
the
Instagram
handle is it's just at Scooter Spicer.
At Scooter Spicer. Scooter. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, man. That's the nickname. Scooter. Scooter. So I got to get into that, man. Scooter. How did you get that nickname? Scooter.
It started as a joke about 8 years ago. No meaning, nothing. No. Totally a joke.
Get in here, Scooter.
Yep. And then I started introducing myself as that. I thought it was funny, and
sweet, man.
Here we are.
Sweet, man. Well, glad to see you again, man.
Yeah.
Glad to see you again, and happy to have you here. And so, what we do here is we try to tie in people that are doing things and basically highlight how tobacco could affect your career. I know as a musician, you see a lot of that. Whether it's vaping or cigarettes or dipping and all that. Yeah, so we were talking about it being a must for that tobacco and vaping and all that to be a part of a musician's life. Do you agree with that statement, or do you think a musician can be out there and playing music and having a good time without doing any of those things?
Totally, 100%. And I feel like most of the people that I know that do smoke or dip or use tobacco do it regrettingly.
Wow.
And no one's really like stoked about it or happy to be doing it, it seems. So
it's just one of those things, just like I jumped into this and I really don't want to continue this, but here I am.
Exactly.
Wow.
Especially singers, it's tough. They got to keep, I want to be better at singing too, so
right.
You gotta stay clean.
Yeah.
I would think one thing that probably drives musicians or anyone, in let's say in the Hollywood type limelight to do those type things would be just the stress in general. And so when it comes to stressors, what would you say, or what do you think is something else they can do outside of the alcohol, or tobacco, or drugs to actually calm down? What do you think musicians could or should do?
Right.
Or anyone, not just musicians, but what do you think is some other better alternatives outside of using alcohol, tobacco, and drugs?
I think my favorite way is just going on a little walk, even if it's
exercise.
Even if it's a few minutes, if you only have 3 minutes and you walk around the neighborhood. Yeah, I think that's a great way to just unwind for a second.
Yeah.
Refocus, get back into whatever you are.
Give it to it. Nice. Well, we all have been affected by what tobacco can do. Whether it's a friend or family member or something like that. What advice do you have for the young musician coming up, saying, "Look, I want to be out here. I want to be a great musician or a great singer or great whatever."
Right.
What advice do you have for them when it comes to that?
Yeah, I think if you want to have a career in music or a career in some sort of entertainment, it can be very stressful and it can take your whole life to really get into it.
Yeah.
So you have to have long-term goals. You have to have health on your mind, and the best way to do that is to eat healthy, sleep right, exercise, train your mind, and avoid substances as much as you can.
Right.
So you'll just last way longer and be way better at your craft.
Nice. Well, go ahead. Were you going to say something?
Well, yeah, I just had a question. I asked for how are you dealing with the whole COVID-19? How are you and your family? How are you guys dealing with that?
Yeah, it's an interesting time. Jason and I were just talking about that as a musician who gigs and plays out and tours. I mean, none of that is a thing right now. So
True.
it's been a bit of a pivot, focusing on learning new tasks and practicing at the house and recording, but hopefully before too long this will start to wrap up and we can slowly start to get back to what we're after. So
trying to get back to normal. Absolutely.
True. Yeah. Well, we know you got to get on the road, man, and we don't want to hold you too long. So again, in the studio, Scooter.
Yeah.
Scooter.
Thanks for it.
Corey Spicer. I like that, man. That's gonna stick.
Right.
That's gonna stick, man. All right, y'all. The Against the Smoke podcast. Tune in on Instagram on Tuesdays. You can catch this podcast. See you then.